Okay, so now we're ready to start talking about functions. And basically a function is a block of code that does something. I have that definition. That's like the simplest definition I can think of. A block of code that does something. What does it do? Whatever you code it to do, whatever you want it to do. So let's start with something really simple. I am going to create a function that will print a yellow smiley face. What I've done is I've pasted the color codes up to in the top of my program here. So here's my function. We create a function with the word def, that's short for define. I'm defining my function. And then, just like with variables, how you have to come up with a good descriptive name for your variables, you have to do the same for functions. Functions do things, they're action-oriented, so it's typical to use a verb in your function name. So most often you'll use verbs and action words in your function name. So for example, for this function, I called it print smiley. And then you do have to put these parentheses here. That's part of the syntax. That's not going to be an issue right now, but we will be putting stuff inside of those parentheses in later videos. So they are important, just not to this function. And then, of course, we have the colon here. That's just part of the basic syntax. And then, as we know, indentation matters in Python. So whatever's in the body of my function, that is going to line up flush, with the, now this is just a one line in the body, but if there was more, then that would all have to line up nicely. So this is the function header. Just like with loops, we talked about this terminology. And then this one line here is the function body. Okay, there could be more lines in the body if the function was more, involved. Okay, so that is the function. Now, when I run this, what happened? Nothing. Okay, what happened? My function didn't run. Here's the thing. Functions do not run explicitly. You have to call them. Once you code them, once you define them, you have to explicitly call them to run them. And by call them, it's really just a line of code saying, hey, you, run your code. Hey, you, calling the function by name. Hey, you, print smiley, run your code. Now I'll run it. And there's a smiley face. Okay. So I've got a couple more in here. Let me do a couple more functions just to reinforce what we just talked about. I'm going to add a second function to this program called print heart. Print heart. Okay, it's going to print a red heart. And of course we start with the word def as in define. Nice descriptive name, print heart. And we have to have the parentheses. Those will come into play later. Colon. And then for the function body, it's just that line to print a heart. Okay, so once again, when I run this, if I ran this as is right now, I would not see that red heart because I haven't called print heart. It's really, necessary to say, hey, you, run your code, and we'll go ahead and run that. Okay, there's the heart. I've got one more. This one is going to be called serve coffee. Serve coffee. We start with def, serve coffee. So once again, all three of these have action word. They have verbs in their function names. That's typical, like I said. So we have serve coffee. This will print a cup of coffee. That's just a cup of coffee emoji. And I do have to call that explicitly. Let me add that function call. And there it is.